Good evening, all. With the outset, with my co-chairperson, let me thank the organized committee, Dr. Sajesh and team for giving us opportunity to chair this session. After spirituality, we are going to have very good interactive session regarding the music therapy. You know, music has multifactorial benefits in emotional, social, cognitive, and academic aspects of human life. You know, there is an important phenomena in our brain that is rewiring or neuroplasticity that occurs in the brain with it is ability of neurons to alter its morphological and functional activities in response to the external stimuli. Here it is music. With music, we can have very good balanced neurotransmitters in our brain and we can improve our brain function. Today, to talk on this subject, we have with us eminent speaker, Professor Vijayalakshmi Subramaniam from Anapaya Medical College. Let us hear from Madam regarding the music therapy as a beacon for neurodegenerative disorders. I request my co-chairperson to introduce Professor Vijayalakshmi. Please put that slide. Dr. Vijayalakshmi Subramanian is an accomplished ENT surgeon with over 2 decades of experience in the field, a gold medalist in otorhinolaryngology from the Manipal Academy of Higher Education. Her surgical prowess and clinical acumen have earned her widespread recognition and respect among the peers and patients alike. Dr. Vijayalakshmi specializes in vestibular medicine and is highly skilled at diagnosing and treating complex balance disorders and vestibular diseases. Furthermore, her fellowship with the Foundation for Advancement of International Medical Education and Research showcases her dedication to medical education and the advancement of healthcare systems globally. Beyond her medical credentials, Dr. Vijayalakshmi's unique blend of talents extends to the realm of music therapy, where she harnesses the healing power of music to complement modern medical interventions, enriching the lives of her patients in profound and holistic ways. She is the recipient of the Dr. Parameshwara Memorial Creative Music Therapist Award for the year 2024. She holds master degree in music and she's also she got third rank holder in the Vidwat grade examination in Bharatanatyam. She is a dancer, she is a musician and singer, and she is a professor of ENT. Over to you, madam.
Thank you very much to the chairpersons for that warm introduction, and a big thanks to the organizing committee and the office bearers of the Geriatric Society of India for giving me this opportunity to share my experience with music therapy for those with neurodegenerative disorders here with you all today. So as I talk on this session, I will be doing a small demonstration, giving just a small overview of what are the techniques we use. So I would request all of you to join me as I do the demonstration and follow the instructions that are given. So before we go into the live demonstration, I will just give you an introduction into what is music therapy and what are the techniques that can be employed. So before we go into music therapy, first we need to have an understanding of what is music. The movement of traffic in the roads, the sound of the vegetable seller shouting for selling his goods, his vegetables on the streets? Does it constitute music? What about the chimes of the church bells or the sound of the temple bells? What constitutes music? Are all these four music? I want it to be interactive, so kindly respond to these questions. Is the constant rush of the train, passing by, if you live near the railway track, is that music? For people who are living next to the railway track, the movement of the train is something which is required for them constantly to go to sleep, right? Otherwise, they cannot sleep because they are so used to it. So, what is music to me may not be music to you, but to just put it in one line to say, to differentiate music from noise, music is a constellation of organized sounds. It is organized sounds. When you hear the honks on a busy road, it is disorganized sound, and that's why it becomes noise, and that's why it creates a jarring sensation for you, at, of course, irritation, unpleasantness, and all that. But beyond being an organized sound, music has an ability to give sound to unspoken thoughts, even if it sans lyrics. Even without the lyrics, just listening to an instrumental tune, it can evoke emotions. And it also gives us the ability to hear the sounds of the unspoken. So we were talking about people in end of life, terminally ill. They may not be able to, share what they are going through, but with music, we can understand. We can have the ability to hear what they are not able to speak. So that is what makes music unique. So it's a powerful medium, it's a non-threatening medium, and it has unique outcomes. Why is it more and more unique than anything else? Because when we prescribe medicines, especially the elderly, they say, I eat a plate full of tablets, I'm fed up of this. When we prescribe medicines to children, they say it's bitter, I cannot drink the cough syrup, I cannot drink the antibiotic. Even elders do not want to take the magnesium suspensions or whatever they say it's. My mother doesn't want to take the deep protein supplement. She says, I don't want this, it tastes horrible. So it's distasteful, but music cannot be bitter, it cannot be distasteful, and it is, easily received by anyone. I'm not saying no to medicines, medicines are required, but music becomes more unique than any other medicine because of this property. It is closely tied to our memories and emotions. It can ease stress after a busy day, and it keeps us attentive and energized. And how it, creates the responses that we see is because of the familiarity with which we have with it, its predictability, and a feeling of security. When we hear a piece of music, even when we are hearing only the background music playing, we know, if it's familiar to us, we know what is going to come. If it's a song that we have heard before, we know what is going to come. And when we listen to a song that is tied closely to our emotions, the song, the lullaby with the mother sang to us to put us to sleep, it gives us a feeling of security. So what is music therapy? Music therapy is a systematic process of intervention wherein the therapist helps the client to promote health using musical experiences and the relationships that develop through them as dynamic forces of change. Now, in music therapy, we have a triangle which we call as the triangle of Carpentier and Brandeis, wherein the top of the pyramid, the top of the triangle is the music, and on the bottom, on two sides, one side is the therapist, the other side is the client. And it is the client's responsibility to engage the therapist or create a therapeutic relationship with the client by utilizing the music which is there on the apex of the pyramid and creating experiences that are to promote health and wellness. So it is using the music. So the supreme force there is music, and using the music as a dynamic force of change is the therapist's responsibility. So again, it is the music that heals, and it is the music that takes care of everything. The therapist has a very limited role in using the music as creatively, as intuitively as possible as a dynamic force of change. So what is the purpose of music therapy? The purpose of music therapy, how it works, we can put it as modulation of attention, modulation of behavior, modulation of communication, modulation of cognition, and modulation of emotions. So through these modulations, music therapy can promote wellness, promote physical rehabilitation. It can reduce stress, it can alleviate pain, it can enhance memory and improve communication. And that's why it becomes very powerful for the management of neurodegenerative disorders, and integrating music therapy with the care that we give, the conventional care that we give for neurodegenerative disorders, can definitely enhance quality of life. So I think I can skip this because all of you know there is progressive damage to the cells and the nervous system connections that are essential for mobility, coordination, strength, sensation, and cognition in neurodegenerative disorders. And these are the list of symptoms that we see, which can be addressed using music therapy and its effects on the body and the mind. So music has a unique ability to stimulate almost every part of the brain, which probably no other activity has got. So it can stimulate almost every part of the brain. So when we hear, with specific to neurodegenerative disorders, when we hear rhythmic stimuli in music, the auditory signals which are processed in the auditory cortex of the brain, they get relayed to motor areas, and this can lead to synchronized physical movements, or it can cause physiological responses. The cerebellum and the basal ganglia are the regions that, as you all know, involved in motor control and coordination. And what happens is entrainment. That is, the body's rhythms get entrained to the external rhythm. So the entrainment of movement can happen to external rhythm, and there are complex interactions between the different brain networks, which includes the sensory, motor, and the cognitive systems, which facilitate the synchronization of attention, movement, thought processes with the external rhythms. So the different parts of the cortices contribute to the therapeutic effects at different levels, which could be somatosensory, visual, auditory, motor, and mood. The hippocampus is involved in memory related aspects, while cerebellum is involved in the motor responses. The nucleus accumbens and the amygdala participate in the emotional and the behavioral changes that occur following exposure to music. Now, the music perception is associated with numerous beneficial effects on the sensory, motor, cognitive, and the emotional processes. Individuals can associate good music with musical chills, the goosebump moment, which are characterized by the stimulation of responses of the autonomic nervous system, often associated with an increase in the heart rate, reduction in the temperature, and the blood volume and the pulse. So musical chills are associated with the dopaminergic reward response regions of the hypothalamus and the amygdala. And activation of this creates intense emotions and a feeling of pleasure. So, some of the molecular and cellular players implicated in the positive responses to music on, the brain plasticity that happens is the brain plasticity and rewiring happens because of the changes in the diverse neuronal systems that happen because of music, which includes memory, cognition, emotional, behavioral, and reward pathways, sensory motor, and of course, the auditory and the language pathways. The limbic system and the prefrontal cortices relay the information to the subregions of the basal ganglia, the nucleus accumbens, the hippocampus, hypothalamus, and the ventral thalamic association. This information is converted into molecular responses in the form of dopamine and oxytocin signaling, and this results in stimulation of the neurotropic factors, which finally cause enhancement in the neuronal connections. And so, new connections are formed, cortical remapping occurs, and there is long-term potentiation which happens in the hippocampus. The default mode network is active when the mind is wandering, when it is thinking about others, when thinking about oneself, when one is remembering the past, when one is envisioning the future rather than the task that is being performed. So, the default mode network is also the default mode network is also activated during music therapy. The next thing is the mirror neurons. The mirror neurons fire when we try to imitate others or when we observe the actions of others. So, the mirror neurons get activated both when we perform an action or when we observe someone else performing the same action. So, in neurodegenerative disorders, there will be things which people are not able to perform, but then when they see others perform, they will try to, imagine themselves performing that, and that's time when, they are trying to understand how they are performing it. They'll try to imitate and they will learn through observation. And when it comes to emotional responses, the activation of the mirror neurons helps in promoting empathy. So, there are two types of brain plasticity which I do not want to enhance. One is a structural plasticity, the other is the functional plasticity, and the overarching effect of music therapy is neural plasticity or brain plasticity. So, the neurophysiological mechanisms of music therapy in neurodegenerative disorders includes stimulation of the dopaminergic pathways by using the thala-based exercises, the rhythm-based exercises for improving motor functions, reducing rigidity and enhancing gait stability. Activation of the brain structures associated with memory which helps to retrieve old memories, evoke positive emotions, and to mitigate anxiety. Enhancement of neuroplasticity, regulation of the stress hormones, including cortisol, and therefore reducing neuroinflammation, and motor sensory integration, improving both gross and fine motor skills, gait, and coordination. So, the key roles of music therapy include motor function improvement, which can be done by using rhythmic and auditory cues to facilitate motor control and coordination. And this helps with gait disturbances, tremors, bradykinesia, and in PD and other conditions. Cognitive enhancement, singing and playing instruments can stimulate memory, attention, executive functions, and it can also help with slowing cognitive decline in Alzheimer's disease and related conditions. Regulation of emotions, music helps reduce, we can use music therapy to reduce anxiety, depression, and apathy, which is such a big component in neurodegenerative disorders, by activating brain regions involved in emotional processing, such as the limbic system and the prefrontal cortex. And of course, group music therapy, which we are going to see together today, where we can foster social interaction and reduce isolation, enhancing quality of life for both patients and caregivers. And regular engagement with music can promote neural plasticity, which is crucial in compensating for lost functions. Now, what are the methods of music therapy in neurodegenerative disorders? So, broadly, when we talk about music therapy, we have two uh, modes. One is active music therapy, the other is receptive music therapy. Receptive music therapy, we call it as it's not just listening to music, what most of us do while driving a car. We call it as therapeutic listening because the music piece that is given for listening is specifically curated for a particular goal that it has to achieve. And then we have something called as vibroacoustic therapy, where instruments like the harp or what we have, the body tambura, can be used. And of course, active music therapy, where we try to engage the clients actively with music. So, for neurodegenerative disorders, some of the techniques are outlined on this slide. One is rhythmic auditory stimulation, where we use rhythmic cues for improving gait and motor coordination. Melodic intonation therapy to improve speech, language, communication skills, and also to improve their voice. Most of them have this hypokinetic voice. Music assisted relaxation, where we use calming music to reduce stress, anxiety, and agitation. And this greatly works with reducing the sound downing symptoms and agitation in Alzheimer's, and also promotes emotional balance in patients with chronic neurodegenerative conditions. Now, we can use structured singing and vocal exercises to improve respiratory control, speech clarity, and cognitive recall. Also, improvisation and instrumental play, wherein we can work with the client and create music or engage them in playing simple instruments to promote self-expression and motor coordination. And when they play instruments, it also improves their fine motor skills and cognitive engagement. Of course, we can do sensory motor integration, where with music, we can ask them to do, coloring, crayon. We also do simple things like painting a diya, making paper boats, making paper flowers, tying flowers, flower garlands is simple things for sensory motor integration. Analysis of lyrics or composing songs, we make them write parodies. Not everybody can write a new tune, compose a new tune. So we give them popular tunes and try to rewrite the life story with that particular tune to express their feelings and to reflect on experiences. This can be used, music can be used for life review in palliative care as well. So this facilitates emotional processing and coping and provides a sense of accomplishment and self-worth. So the Indian way is, yes, thala-based exercises and yoga, memory eliciting raga therapy, relaxation with rag chikitsa, voice and breath control exercises with Indian music, which could be the Nada yoga, where we can use the Onkar practices or other pranayama practices with music. So improvised music and movement therapy, interactive group singing, and emotional processing through rasa theory, where we use the ability of music to evoke the emotions or the rasas. So in Indian context, it's called as the 9 rasas or the Navarasas. So whenever we design a music therapy intervention, the first thing is a client assessment, where we assess the client's cultural background, the current medical history, the diagnosis, and of course, the issues, which could be psychological, cognitive, which could be communication, social, physiological issues, the client's responses to music. How skilled is the client in music? Has he had any musical experience in the past? Has he been trained in the past? What are the musical preferences? And then, based on the problems, we write goals. And based on the goals, we prioritize the goals and then write objectives. Then the next thing is plan the intervention. And then for the intervention that is planned, we select the music and the music-based activities. And then we implement what we have planned. And during the course of implementation, we have evaluation on a periodic basis, so that if something doesn't work, we can change the plan at that point of time. We can make modifications to it. So this is just an example. It's It's not complete. It's just an example to give you. So if I write a goal for the goal area is communication and the goal is to speak clearly and loudly, the objective would be the client should be able to speak 3 sentences clearly after 3 consecutive sessions. So if the goal is to improve gross motor functioning of the lower extremities, to demonstrate full extension and flexion of the right and left lower extremity on a musical cue in 3 consecutive sessions. So like this, we write goals, and based on which we plan how many sessions are needed to achieve the particular objectives. So the objectives are targeted, and based on that, the number of sessions that we plan. Of course, sometimes we might have planned a little too much and the client would have achieved the objective earlier. Sometimes we would have planned a little less and the client may take a little longer. Client to client, there will be variations, but we need to plan. So based on that, the duration of the intervention and the length of the intervention will also be decided. So this is roughly a session plan. So each session, what are we going to do? The first thing will be a greeting, and then to encourage participation, we usually start with popular songs, and then we have the action and movement songs to provide for practice for fine and gross motor skills and concept comprehension, and then instrumental play wherein we provide them with further motor skill practice and focus on following the directions. Then we end every session with quiet, slow music to encourage closeness and attachment, relaxation, mindfulness, and these things are done. So we'll move on to the demonstration now. And so like with every other session, we'll start with a small prayer. And I would request you to repeat the lines after me so that you can join me in prayer. हे जगत्राता विश्वविधाता, हे जगत्राता विश्वविधाता, ये सुख शांति निकेतन है, ये सुख शांति निकेतन है। प्रेम के सिंधु दीन के बंधु, प्रेम के सिंधु दीन के बंधु, दुख दरिद्र विनाशन है, दुख दरिद्र विनाशन है। प्राण सखा त्रिभुवन पतिपालक, प्राण सखा त्रिभुवन पतिपालक, जीवन के अवलंबन है, जीवन के अवलंबन है। हे जगत्राता विश्वविधाता, हे जगत्राता विश्वविधाता, ये सुख शांति निकेतन है, ये सुख शांति निकेतन है, ये दुख शांति निकेतन है। May the light of compassion and unity shine upon all, bringing healing to the wounded, strength to the weary, hope to the every heart. Let peace and resilience guide us through all the challenges. So this is a sample where I chose a prayer which is common to all, which did not, go to a particular deity, focus on a particular deity. And so what does this symbolize to you all? I want you all to interact. So look at the picture and tell me, what does this indicate? Yeah, it's all about life. It's all about life. Okay, I think I cannot move around. I would say, chronologically, I am somewhere probably at this stage. But when somebody said age is just a number chronologically, but when you look at my brain, I'm still at this stage only. My brain never grew ever since I was born, and still I do all the funny things, because whatever mischief I did as a kid, I'm still continuing to do all that mischief even in the 5th decade of my life. But then there may be a youngster who's feeling as old as this or this. But then all of us are going to age. All of us are going to, at some point of time, get to this level or even go beyond this level. And our children are going to all fly away, becoming butterflies. For the person with neurodegenerative disorders, the whole perception of life changes. They don't know which stage they are in. The person with Alzheimer's disease will not even be able to, we don't know what is going on within them. At least I can't understand at what level they are. So we start with, we just talked about life. Life is called as Jivana, Balu, Baduku, Zindagi, or Jivitam. And we would request you to think of life and what is the song that comes to your mind when you think of life. Think of your life and sing one song. I think this mic will have to be passed around. I have been asked to finish fast, so please, I want responses quickly. It's okay, you don't have to be singers. Any one line is good enough. Nobody has to be singers in music therapy. You can sing any language. Yeah, the young girls there should be singing. You can't think of even one line. One line, yes. Any song about life in general. You can sing even about the butterfly. It's okay.
जिंदगी क्या हुआ ऐ सुहाना, ये हम कल क्या हो किसने जाना.
Thank you very much. So, Zindagi ek safar hai suhana. Life is beautiful, isn't it? We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but life is beautiful. So, like this, we ask them to recall songs. And if they are not able to recall a song, we will teach them 1 or 2 lines of the song. And we don't allow them to write it. We ask them to, in the next visit, we ask them, what was the song I taught you? We repeat the 2 lines again, and then we go on to the next 2 lines. So this is one example. So real life incidents, when shared as stories, become life lessons for everyone. And who could be a person who can teach us more than a senior citizen who has so much of experience? So music is a creative art form that gives us the ability to become storytellers. And here again, we give you a happiness toolbox and we ask them these questions. Think of a song. So I want 4 responses, one for each of these questions. Think of a song when you cleared the first toughest exam. These are just examples. There's a lot more creativity with which we do this. I have designed it to make it relevant for you all. The day your parents or your favorite teacher told you, I am the proudest father today, or I am the proudest teacher today. Some time ago, we saw a teacher saying, there can't be much more happiness than seeing a student doing very well. The first time you met your spouse, or the moment you fell in love for the first time, the birth of your first child. So 4 responses quickly. When you cleared your first exam, sir? That song came when you cleared your first exam? MD, right. So sir says he कांटों से खींच के ये आंचल. So it was really full of thorns, I think, the journey. So he says, तोड़ के बंधन I think he wanted to get rid of his troublesome examiners. बांधे पाए कोई ना रोके दिल की उड़ान को दिल ये चला हा हा आज फिर जीने की तमन्ना है. Okay, so anything else? The day your parents said, I'm very proud of you. Very popular songs you can think of. पापा कहते हैं बड़ा नाम करेगा. Right? The first time you met your spouse or the moment you fell in love. Beautiful. ये शाम मस्तानी, right? And then बहारों फूल बरसाओ मेरा महबूब आया. I think my senior citizens interact with me more than all of you. Probably the ice is not broken, but my senior citizens who are 80 plus, they come up with very interesting responses. The birth of your first child, it's about happy moment, right? I don't think there can be anybody who was unhappy about the birth of the first child.
पंख बने उड़ते चलो आज गगन में.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Everybody wants the child to fly, right? Fly and soar high and high. Beautiful, beautiful. So we are here in Kerala. What is this picture that you're seeing? You're seeing sunset. Yes. I'm seeing coconuts. What else are you seeing? You're seeing the backwaters. You're seeing the setting sun. Yes. You're seeing somebody on the boat. Somebody boating in the water. So any song to, which you can relate to anything on this picture.
नीले अंबर के तले.
Is it Neela? Neela is there. Okay, but still, Neele Ambar ke tale. Neele gagan ke tale. That one, right? You were talking about, right? Any other song about the boat? Yes. Chalo dildar chalo. But if the mood is sad,
खोया खोया चांद सुना.
Khula Asman, the chand is yet to come. The sun is just setting. But yes, if the mood is sad, the client will sing, Na koi umang hai, na koi tarang hai, meri zindagi hai kya, ek kati patang. So you will be able to, by the song they sing, you will be able to get an idea of what is the mood, and from there you will be able to take on your therapy session, understanding what is going on with them. So this is a very broad example of how we move up. Now let's start with warm up. So the music will play and you will have to do whatever I'm doing with me.
5 more minutes. to
Like
conclude.
this, we integrate it with simple yoga asanas, and then we start with rhythmic auditory stimulation to improve gait, motor coordination, and rhythm perception. So we are in Kerala, so we are going to use the Panchavadyam rhythms of Kerala today, and you will just do what I do along with me. Do the rhythm.
Ma'am, we have 5 more minutes to
Yes.
conclude.
So the movements are changed as per the tempo, and the clients will synchronize their movements to the tempo of the rhythm that is being played. The next thing is body percussion for balance and coordination. I spoke about popular songs, and here we are going to use popular songs. So I'll just show you a few things with body percussion that you'll have to repeat to the rhythm of this song. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, repeat. 2, 1, 2, 3. Then next is right, left, 1, 2, 3. Then again right, left, 1, 2, 3. Easy, you got it. So the first one you will do 8 times. One count. Second one you will do 8 times. Do the rhythm of the song. And I have picked up a very popular song, so you won't have difficulty. You will know the song.
वो यार है जो खुशबू की तरह, जिसकी जुबान उर्दू की तरह, मेरी शाम रात मेरी कायनात, वो यार मेरा सैया सैया, चल छैया छैया।
So we gave 8 counts. We changed the counts. Sometimes we tell them first you do 8 times, then you do 4 times, then we tell them to do 16 times. So they have to do the counting as well. And to the same rhythm again, the walking movements and everything we do. So again, we are in Kerala. So we make them do animal walks. Here I planned for an elephant walk, but because of want of time, I will just demonstrate it to you. And you can think how it will work for
We have
the
1 minute
clients.
left, ma'am.
Yes. So I think I will skip this. So then the next thing is rhythm mentation to improve attention and memory. I will just play the music. So what they have to do, this music is created by our students. They have to clap to the rhythm that is being given. And the pauses in the rhythm they have to observe. So see this. Now, yes. That's it. That's a silence. So this we do it live so that they understand that when it comes, it's a silence. You don't have to clap. So then we use raga. I brought in the peacock song, the peacock tune. We, especially Parkinson's, they have tremors. We ask them to hold the Mayura Mudra, where the ring finger and the thumb finger have, the thumb has to be joined like this. And we ask them to imagine the peacock and perform movements like the peacock. I have chosen a Basant Bahar Tilana here. And then we close with guided relaxation, which we will do for today. Close your eyes. Think of the beautiful butterfly you saw. You saw the tree and there were flowers and fruits on that tree. Synchronize your breath with the music. Take lengthy deep breaths. The sun is setting and the boat is quietly making its movement towards the shore. The birds are flying back to their homes. Relax. Imagine the beautiful peacock as there are clouds in the sky and it's about to rain. The peacock is dancing. Imagine the peacock with the beautiful blue feathers dancing. Keep your eyes closed and take lengthy breaths. Om Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Join your hands, rub your hands, keep your hands on your face. Gently open your eyes within the palms and move your eyeballs both sides inside your palm. Slowly open your eyes.
Thank you, ma'am.
So we do guided relaxation like this. I just gave a small demo and that was, we tell them the name of the raga that was used. If we use a raga, this was Rag Chandra Nandini, which actually means moonstruck.
Ma'am, our time is over.
And to summarize, yes sir, finished. Music therapy offers a multidimensional approach to management of neurodegenerative disorders. Targeted and evidence-based interventions support neural plasticity and enhance quality of life, and we can integrate music therapy to rehabilitation programs to provide compassionate and scientifically grounded path to well-being, and it can go on till the end of life. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, madam, for your informative talk on music therapy. You know, there are various studies are available. The effect of music therapy in patients with suffering from neurodegenerative diseases. There are studies which shows that it increases the volume of the gray matter as well as white matter with the application of music therapy. And there's a balanced secretion of the dopamine, serotonin, and glutamate, oxytocin. All these neurotransmitters helps the patient to become more active in the life. Please give a big hand to the madam. It's got a very,
Thank you very
really
much.
interactive session. Thank you very
We
much.
run a certificate course in music therapy for health professionals. It's a 6 months online program. And if anybody is interested, you can get in touch with me. If not you, at least your care givers, your allied healthcare physiotherapists, occupational therapists, you can encourage them to join. Admissions are currently open, and we are going to commence the classes on the 20th of December. Thank you very much.